Hey guys, this is Clint Roberts again. Last year, about winterization time, I did a video of me winterizing my G, and I did one on my mother's K, and everybody seemed to like it. So I've decided to do another little mod after seeing one on the Travato page. And I've already done it to my mom's K. She's the one that brought it to my attention that she's seen we get lots of great ideas on the Travato page on Facebook and all, and we really enjoy it. So anyways, she had seen where someone had replaced their water filter, and where because we don't drink the water or anything like that, so there's no need that we see to have a water filter. And when it comes to winterizing, it's kind of a pain in the rear to have to mess with the water filter. So we've bypassed it, and thanks again to Facebook and the Travato page to letting us see that. So anyways, I did it to hers first because it was her idea, and then I did it to my G, and we're in my aunt's G now. We've got our own little Travato nation here, and what I've got is we have a steel braided hose with a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch FIP connections, and it's 36 inches long, and that's all we need to do this. Remove the filter and replace this on the ends, and I'll show you what I'm going to do here to do that. And 36 inches is long enough to do what we need to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is, on the G, I'm going to remove these drawers here. And to remove the drawers, you have these little clips here that we clip that in, and that'll release that side. There's one on each side. And it's just a little black lever right down in front of the hinge. Just pick it up, and then it'll release, and you can slide that hinge, and the drawer will slide right out. And it'll be really easy to slide back in. And two of them here, it gives me a little bit more room to work with, where I can see. Yep, just a little peg there. Push it down on that side, it slides back, and same thing on the other side. Slide back, and that removes both drawers. Get them out of the way. And then we've got the water filter. Here's the filter right here is what we're removing. So when I'm winterizing and stuff like that, I've been taking this off and draining the water in and out of it. I've already prepped it a little bit for us today. So when we remove this, when we go to winterizing, we don't have to worry about that. We're just going to drain the lines, and then we're going to fill them up with antifreeze. So it takes the amount of antifreeze down considerably, and time down very considerably. Come on back down here so I see. So we've got the housing right here, and we've got one line right here on one side of it, and the other line comes out and loops around. That's the reason I pulled the drawers out, because it's down in here back in the back. You'll have to see back here. That's why I pulled the drawers out. We've got this white line. You can just kind of follow it around and come down to there. So I'm going to start by removing this one here, and then I'll pull the line out, and then I'll remove the whole thing out there. Now, usually I haven't, on the other twos, I haven't been able to do it by hand because it'll actually spin the connection down in this hose here. So I'll use a couple pairs of pliers to hold back up on it. Reach down there and grab that one on the bottom. And I'll see if I can do the top one by hand. It might have a little bit of water drain, maybe, hopefully not a whole lot, but I did on mine. Yep, and I got it. It's kind of the reason I'm wanting to do this side right here, so I can be prepared for it and try not to make as much of a mess. I'm going to borrow her bowl right here to drain a little bit of it out. And that's antifreeze there because we had already winterized this before we did this project, and saw it and thought it'd be just make things a lot nicer. So I've drained a little bit out there, so I'm going to grab this line here. I'm gonna pull it right out. Now we've got that one done here, and I have the same kind of fitting right here that we're gonna remove that there. Now we're there. So all we're doing now is taking this hose here and replacing all of this. So get this one out and ready. Okay, so we've got the hose here, and I've got both ends of the filter housing disconnected. So what I want to do now is I'm just gonna take the whole filter housing out, which is another really neat mod on the G, because we're limited space for storage underneath the sink and all. And we remove this, and we've gained some more room in here, and this filter housing is not in the way anymore. So that's another thing that we liked about it, is that give us a little bit more room. Let me get this out. So I've pulled it out, and I'm going to go on and just remove the screws all the way out, because we're not going to be putting it back in. And now I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna put one hose here and one hose on the other side. And I found on the other one, it's easier to go on and run it down and do the back side first. And I'm gonna run it in, kind of snake it down in there. It's a little bit contrary, it's nothing difficult, but just because you can't get all your hands in there real easy on it. Okay, so I've got it good and started, so I'm gonna go on back with my wrenches here because I want to make sure and get it good and tight at this point now, because it'll be the finished project when we fire it back up with water. I don't want to leak. I always remember doing stuff with my dad. I'd ask him how tight, and he'd say, well, just snug it up. So, kind of just snug it up. Maybe just a little bit more than snug, because like I say, I don't want it to leak. And it's just got a rubber compression down there. So, we've got it on that end. We're coming up here to this end. And once again, I want to make sure to get it good and snugged up. All right, I've got that snugged in. I'm just going to let it rest down there behind the plate. Now the one thing I'm going to do on this one is when we fire it back up and fill up with water and turn the water pump on, I'm going to double check then to make sure that I don't have any leaking at those connections, to make sure that we don't create a new problem. So I'll pressure it up, turn the water pump on, make sure that we got no leaks, and then it'll be good to go. As you can see, we've got more room here, and we've also don't have to worry about it when we're doing the winterizing of it. And if you've watched my previous video on that, you'll see all the steps that we won't have to worry about now. Now I'll take you down to my mother's cave. We've already done it, but I'll show you where it was and what I did to do it. It's actually a little more simple on the cave because it's just more accessible. So I'll show you that. Okay, we're down here at my mom's cave now. And this is the filter that I just removed out of my aunt's G. And it's not exactly it's the same filter, but the line's a little bit different on this one, but you can give you the gist. Come over here so I can show you. But the filter on the K mounts right down here. We're in the same area that your trim is in. So I removed it from there. And this right here is where I had the steel braided hose that we put on. And when I was saying it's a little bit easier and accessible, it just goes from here right down here. Can you see this back here, babe? Right down there. You'll be able to, if you do it on your K, when you see it, the white hose, you'll be able to trace it down and know exactly where to go. Both of them's real easy to get to. Now, one thing we did on this right here is last year when I winterized my mom's, I went on and to make it easier, we split cut this off and just give us ourselves a little access panel instead of trying to do it down here on the side. So anyways, hope that helps out some guys, and y'all have safe travels and enjoy the winter.